Are you full of joy? Joy comes in so many ways. It's in the things we see and what we hear. And then, of course, we contribute to the joy because we give it as we be it. This morning, I'm going to tell you a short story. It's my favorite joy story. There was a little girl, and she was in the Christmas pageant. She had the last line of the play. She was so excited, she went to every rehearsal. Well, as she walked past one of the corners of the street on the way to the church for the rehearsal, there was an organ grinder. Remember that guy with the organ grinder? And a monkey. And she was fascinated. And she wanted to know, really, where did he go at night? Because he was there all day long. Well, one night she stayed up really, really late. She counted her ABCs. She focused on naming all the animals she could because she was determined to see, where did this man go? Where did he sleep? She'd ask her mom, and her mom said, "Oh, don't ask me questions I don't know the answer to." Yeah, we don't want to be asked questions that we don't know the answer to. But this little girl was determined. She wanted to know, what is it that this man does every night? As she crawled to her window, she saw that he was sleeping right there on the bench where he sat all day long. And she was very concerned because it had begun to snow. So the next morning she said, "We have to invite this man to come to our house, to come to our dinner." And the mom said, "No, we won't be doing that. He's a stranger." Now just imagine for a moment if the innkeeper had looked at Mary and Joseph and said, "No, you can't stay in my stable. You're a stranger." But this little girl said, "Mommy, it doesn't matter." Mommy said, "Yes, it does, and we're going to be late. Today's a big day. It's the pageant." So she finishes the hem on the little girl's robe. She gets her halo just right, and they head off to church. And as she walks by the organ grinder and the monkey, she grabs his hand and says, "Come to the church. I'm in a pageant tonight. Come to the church." He just smiles, but there's a sadness in his eyes. So she finally gets to the church. She's moving very slow. She's peeking around the curtains, looking for the organ grinder. Did he make it? Did he take her up on the invitation? It's time for her to come out and give the final line of the story. And yet she can't. The camel, who's actually two folks, one in the front and one in the back, turns around and says, "At least you have a line. Go ahead and say it." The little girl just stands there. There's a hush over the church. And in the back, a door opens. And the man and the monkey walk through. And she says, "Behold, I bring you tidings of great joy." And then she says, "And that's my friend, and it gives me great joy." The pageant completes. They go down to the fellowship hall. And she and the organ grinder share a smile and some cider. For you see, even though in the midst of understanding what her mother was trying to teach her and focusing on the pageant, she wasn't about to let go of the joy. She wasn't going to let go of the joy. May we all have that experience this holiday season, that no matter what's happening, no matter what relative does or doesn't show up. Oh, y'all have got some of those too. No matter what gift does or does not appear under the tree, joy is there all the time. It doesn't change. In Unity, we talk about our co-founders, Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, teaching that we have some innate spiritual qualities. We call them the 12 powers. Well, I believe that joy is the 13th power. And so I invite you today to take that power of joy into the next week and a half. We can all become very cynical when we look at the headlines about the holidays. Let's move beyond it. Let's move past that, and let's anchor ourselves in the joy. Namaste.